Good afternoon, folks, and thanks for joining us. I'm here in Cinco at the ST Namwe United Methodist Church, where His Excellency President Boakai is attending the memorial service of fallen Liberia Minister of State, Minister Sylvester and Grigsby, who died a few months ago, as you may be in the know. The minister was buried in the United States of America, and of course there was a book of condolence signed for the minister at the executive mansion a few months back, like in the month of February. And today the government of Liberia and of course the ST Namwe Church is holding an official memorial service for the fallen Minister of State. So we're here at the ST Namwe Church in Cinco, and the memorial service I've just started, and we will make our way into the church to bring you up to speed, or to bring you this memorial service, of course, that is being held for the fallen Liberian Minister of State. The late Minister Sylvester Grigsby served in the office of the President as the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. Of course, now Liberia now have a new Minister of State, and but today, of course, Liberia is holding an official memorial service for the fallen minister. So we're going to go into the ST Namwe Church where the memorial service is being held to bring you the memorial service. So any moment from now we'll be into the church. And also just to bring you up to speed, President Boakai passed the country today. The president will be leaving for the Ivory Coast to head to Abidjan. He has gotten an official invitation for the Ivorian government to attend the official inaugural ceremony of newly elected Ivorian president, or Ivorian president, of course, President Alassane Ouattara. Now, come to think of it, President Boakai will be meeting his Ivorian counterpart, President Alassane Ouattara, upon receiving an invitation to attend the inaugural ceremony. And so right after this memorial service, the president will be departing this church to head for the Rabat International Airport, where he will depart the country to head for the Ivory Coast to attend the inaugural ceremony of Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara. And so, folks, this is the memorial service for the fallen Minister of State, Minister Sylvester Grigsby. So let's go into the church service now and bring you the live coverage for the memorial service of Liberia's late Minister of State, Minister Sylvester Grigsby. My name is Anthony Williams. I will be bringing you this coverage, and of course, eventually after this memorial service, we will head for the Rabat International Airport, where President Boakai will be departing to head for the Ivory Coast to attend the inaugural ceremony of Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara. So keep following as we head into the ST Namwe Church here on Cinco to bring you the memorial service of Liberia's fallen Minister of State, Minister Sylvester, the late Minister Sylvester Grigsby. Stick with us for that. Thank you, boss. Alright, folks, we're already into the church service, and as you can see for yourselves, the memorial service is already kicking off. His Excellency President Boakai will be in here any moment from now. Government officials are already in here. We have the current Minister of State already seated, and he's forming part of this memorial service. It's been held for the Minister of State, Minister Sylvester Grigsby.
we remain seated as we lift the offering while the choir render us a selection. It's offering time.
Thank you, President Sylvester. This program is a joint program. The Joseph Thomas Brothers Foundation, as its executive director, Jackson Jr., who are now invited to lead a tribute.
Thank you, Pastor. We're now moving to the tributes. We'll call on Ambassador Professor Drew Mason. Praying to the family.
I've come here today not to render praises to Greg, my friend and colleague. I'll borrow from Shakespeare. I come to memorialize Greg, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is oft interred in the bones. But so let it be with Greg. We have nothing to fear, nothing to worry about. There are no secrets that are going to be unraveled. And so, as I said, I've come to memorialize, to join in this memorial. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Joseph Boakai, under whose direction we are holding. We salute you, sir. And we remain grateful for the love and the solidarity that you have shown our family since the death of our beloved Sylvester Grigsby. Bravo, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. And God bless you, your family, and our country under your sagacious leadership. The first elected lady president in Africa, the first elected lady president of our own TrueLiberia, Her Excellency Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, I salute you. I salute you, Cleo, and Greg's children. Very accomplished children, very loyal wife. It will be well in Jesus' name. Amen. Members of the cabinet, Excellency Steve Pua, all you who have served with Greg as colleagues, the people of Sino, people of Sonogli, Ajinofao, Talo, the council is supposed to be led by Senator Creighton Duncan. So many friends and relations, men and women of Liberia, dear friends, I tell you. As I said at the beginning, I'm not here to heap praises on Greg. In fact, Greg has no need of praise singers. What he lacked in stature, he more than made up for it with his Einstein blinding-sized brain and strategic thinking. Who among us could write the I have the honor letters and documents more than Greg? Who among us could write a gazette almost from memory as Greg did? At a time in our world where pomposity and big shotism characterize those who have hardly attained a high school education. Grigsby, whose academic and professional achievements are outstanding, Grigsby lived a life of humility and self-effacement, of good character, and of selfless dedication to his duties and to his responsibilities. An indefatigable worker during the years that he served our Liberia, Greg hardly knew a single day of rest. Many were the responsibilities assigned to him as speechwriter in the presidency, research officer at the foreign ministry, ambassador to the European Union, superintendent of Sino County, twice minister of state for presidential affairs. In all of these activities, Greg's versatile intelligence was able to undertake with maximum results the various tasks with which he was saddled. But perhaps it was Greg and folks like him that the American poet William Wordsworth said, "The heights our great men and women reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they were their companions slept. They were up and toiling in the night." That was the kind of person Greg was. And what a sense of humor Greg had. Over our long years of friendship, we have come to enjoy memorizing and regurgitating to each other long poems, wise sayings, proverbs, and jokes from many countries. I suppose he and the president, who is himself an outstanding raconteur and possesses an SKD-sized pitch of jokes and wise sayings, the president and Greg must have had a great time together. All of us, I believe, have our favorite joke as told by Greg. I shall never forget the one about the toothpick and that of the Catholic bishop and the Muslim imam. But quite unfortunately, in recent times, Greg was the victim of outlandish accusations and downright lies. And this was coming from people who had no equal for him, either in character or in intelligence. But this is not surprising. It is in the nature of greatness that it makes little men and women acutely aware of their own depravity and reminds them of the sterling qualities they lack so much: character, intelligence, moral strength, and compassion. I call these fellows moral Lilliputians political pygmies, and social geographies. But Greg never gave credence to his accusers. He took the advice given in Proverbs 26, verse 4. Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest thou also be like unto him. And so in the crucible of time, history is already eroding the lies and exposing the perpetrators. As our people inside will say, when the tide goes down, we shall see the swimming naked. I'm about to conclude. But let me mention that after this incredible demonstration of recognition of the Honorable Ambassador Minister Sylvester Grigsby, first manifested in Houston, Texas, a few months ago, and here today on home soil. This incredible demonstration of gratitude. We are led to believe that the Boakai administration is a sensitive, grateful administration which knows how to honor the memory of those who have served well our country and our people. We citizens of Liberia must therefore face the future with optimism. Work and pray for many more Sylvester Christmas. Continue the struggle for Liberia's progressive development under the leadership of H.E. President. I will shout now. The tears won't permit me to continue. So, dear Brother Grigsby, may the angels come to meet you. As we Catholics say, Pax Domini sit semper vobiscum. May the peace of God remain with you always. And as our people in Sino would say, ne way, ma way, sapa way, red way, together, Jitwa way. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We ask that you please limit your tributes to 3 minutes. We'll now call on the Chinese ambassador.
His Excellency Joseph Boakai, President of the Republic of Liberia, Her Excellency Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, former President of the Republic of Liberia, Mrs. Cleopatra S. Grigsby, and other members of the Grigsby family, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we gather here to remember Honorable Mr. Sylvester M. Grigsby, former Minister of State for Presidential Affairs of the Republic of Liberia. First, on behalf of my government and my embassy, I would convey the deepest condolences to the Grigsbys. His passing not only makes a great loss for the Grigsby family and Liberia, but also leaves the Chinese people without a great friend. Honorable Grigsby had deep connections with China. During his lifetime, he visited China many times, as early as the 1970s. Over the decades, he had always followed China's development with great interest and genuine insights, and also promoting China-Liberia relations with heartfelt dedication. He was an active advocate of China-Liberia friendship and a steadfast promoter of China-Liberia cooperation and a respected friend of China. In particular, he provides me with tremendous help in successfully performing my duties here. What moved me most was that even in the final moments of his life, he still cared about and paid close attention to the development of our bilateral relations. This profound friendship will forever be etched in our memories. With his wisdom and actions, Honorable Grigsby made a great contribution to China-Liberia relations. His warm demeanor, unwavering commitment to cooperation, and deep care for our bilateral relationship will forever remain in our hearts. We bear in mind his earnest aspirations for deepening China-Liberia strategic partnership. The Chinese government and the people cherish their friendly ties with Liberia, and they will honor the legacy of Honorable Grigsby in this regard. Together with friends from all sectors in Liberia, we are committed to advancing cooperation across various fields, ensuring that the tree of Liberia friendship takes deeper root and flourishes for generations to come. May the soul of Honorable Grigsby rest in peace. His friendship and contributions will forever live on in the hearts of the people of China. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. We'll now call on Mr. Nathaniel Davis, friend of the family.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, Your Excellency, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, former President, ladies and gentlemen. This is not going to be easy for me, really, because Greg was my best friend. My friendship with Sylvester began the very first time we met at Cuttington. It was in the freshman dormitory Overs Hall where our paths first crossed. As I entered the room, our eyes met, and with a warm smile, he said, "I've seen you before." Our eyes were. He says in John's mission in Grand Cape County. He replied that moment sealed our fate, as we soon became roommates and inseparable friends. As we got into talk and trying to find out who we are. Greg, who was a product of the prestigious College of West Africa, said to me in very good, impeccable English, which he learned right at CWA, that his ambition was to become a biochemist. Likewise, in very good English again, which I learned right in Cape Town, I responded, as for me, I know not where the road may lead. Life at Covington was a vibrant contrast to the structured environments we had known in boarding schools. There was a newfound freedom and exhilarating sense of possibility. Sports, music production, a touring choir, and of course the girls. For many of us, this was a time of discovery, not just of knowledge, but of ourselves. After graduation, we ventured into the professional world. I was fortunate to secure full-time employment at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Greg's journey was a little more winding. He spent some time with the Ministry of Agriculture and was assigned to an agricultural experimental station in Swakopmund. I thought this was a promising start, an opportunity for him to earn a scholarship in his field. Not too long after that, I heard that a high-ranking official of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs had met Greg, and he was very, very impressed with him and recommended him to the minister. On the day Greg came to meet the minister, we met briefly and he told me what was unfolding. I sensed that something significant was taking place. The minister, impressed by Greg's potential, saw in him a future leader. That meeting will mark the beginning of Greg's distinguished and illustrious career in foreign affairs, a path that will take him across continents and into the heart of international diplomacy. Following the meeting, Brett called me and said, "Charlie," Daha used to call me, "let's go for a walk." We went to taking the walk, Randolph Street, going down to Jane Travers building. He was beating around the bush. I said, "Greg, you say you got something to tell me, what is it?" He said, "Oh, Charlie, I'm getting married. Cleo and I are getting married." I said, "Wow." Now, I said, "Okay, so what do I do?" He said, "Well, I want you to play a very significant role." I said, "Like what?" He looked at his paper. He said, he named his groomsmen all from Sino. I wasn't on that list. So I said, "But what do you want me to do?" He said, "Oh, Charlie, man, you will find something to do. I know you." I said, "Okay." On the day of the wedding, when Greg marched into the church with his groomsmen, I was on the organ playing Johann Sebastian Bach, followed by Felix Mendelssohn Wedding March and Wagner Private Chorus to add a grandeur to the union. Somehow, our lives took shape by different roles. Our friendship endured. It was built on mutual respect, shared dreams, and a deep understanding of each other's strengths and struggles. The bond we forged in our youth remained unbroken. Somehow, we always seem to run into each other, whether in London, Paris, the United States, or Nairobi, Kenya. Nairobi, Kenya will forever remain etched in my brain. Because it was on that day, Greg had called me to say they were passing through and I should pick them up because they had a long stay over. I took them over to my house, we were eating, and then I received a call from the airline that don't bother to bring your passengers. I said, "Why?" He said, something happened in Liberia. I said, what happened? He said, there's been a coup. The rest is history. Just give me 1 second here. A devoted friend, true patriot, and a distinguished statesman. Once upon a time, when we served together in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, some individuals, and I will find this hard to say, some individuals with evil intention sought to question Greg's loyalty. But Greg, once afforded the opportunity to protect himself or to defend himself, did so with, before that, when he brought the problem to me, I said, Greg, he seemed a little nervous. I said, listen, you will stay here, you and I will remain here, and you will put your thoughts together. I will type everything for you. You always like working late anymore, so you're going to work late this time. And Greg put his thoughts together. He did with characteristic eloquence and clarity, being vindicated beyond measure. As time revealed the integrity and unwavering dedication he always carried in his heart, his service, humility, and quiet strength continue to inspire all of us. According to the book of Proverbs, one who has unreliable friends soon come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. If you look around, you will find people who need your friendship. Ask God to reveal them to you, and then take on the challenge of being a true friend yourself. Scripture further teaches us that the greatest evidence of genuine loyalty, of genuine friendship, is loyalty. Sylvester Manobi Grigsby was indeed a genuine loyalty who gave his very best to our country. May his legacy endure, and may his soul rest in perfect peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. We'll now call on the Joseph Nyeman Boakai Foundation.
Members of the former and current members of the foundation, can you please join me as we do this? His Excellency Joseph Nyeman Boakai Sr., President of the Republic of Liberia, founder and chairman emeritus of the Joseph Nyeman Boakai Foundation, Her Excellency Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, former President of the Republic of Liberia, Mrs. Grigsby and bereaved family members, members of the Liberian Cabinet, the diplomatic corps, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. We have gathered today to eulogize and pay homage to Ambassador Grigsby, who served as the founding executive director of the Joseph Nyeman Boakai Foundation during the formative and embryonic stages of the Joseph Nyeman Boakai Foundation, where he served with humility and sacrificed as well. The foundation has coined few lines in memory of his sacrificial services. We gather today with heavy hearts, yet also with profound gratitude to honor the life legacy, and indelible services of a remarkable man, Ambassador Sylvester M. Grigsby. To speak of Sylvester is to speak of a servant's heart, clothed in quiet dignity. As the founding executive director of the Joseph Nyuma Boakai Foundation, he was not merely an administrator. He was a steady hand on the tiller, the thoughtful mind behind the mission, and a compassionate soul who connected the foundation's vision to the various people it was designed to uplift. His title, ambassador, was not just a relic of a distinguished diplomatic past. It was the essence of how he operated. He was an ambassador for hope, for development, and for the unwavering belief in the Liberia's promise. In every meeting, every community engagement, every strategic plan he helped craft, Sylvester embodied the core principles of the foundation, service, and a deep, abiding commitment to building a better future. He worked with a clarity of purpose that was both inspiring and humbling. He understood that true development is built on relationships, on trust, and on a genuine listening ear. He navigated complex challenges with a calm demeanor and a wisdom that seemed to flow from a deep well of experience and love for his country. For him, the work was never about recognition, it was about results that improved lives. It was about being a faithful steward of the vision within himself. To our father, His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai Sr., Sylvester was a trusted lieutenant and a brother in arms for peace and progress. To the board, he was a trusted steward, and to the staff he led, he was a mentor, a leader who led by example, and a pillar of unwavering support to the partners and communities he served. He was a man of his word, a respectable collaborator, and a true advocate. Today, as we mourn his physical absence, we must also celebrate the powerful legacy he leaves with the walls of this foundation, and in the countless lives he touched. The programs he nurtured, the 6 pillars, the standards of excellence he upheld, and the culture of respect he fostered. These are his enduring gifts to us. Ambassador Grigsby's chapter with us has closed too soon, but the story he helped write is far from over. We honor him best, not with words alone, but by rededicating ourselves to the work he upheld so dearly. We will move forward upholding the standards he left, or the standards he set for humanitarian services. We extend our deepest sympathies to his family, his loved ones, and all who cherished him. Thank you for sharing this extraordinary man with us and with the nation. Rest now, dear Ambassador. Your duty was faithfully performed. Your work is woven in fabric of ours, and we will carry it forward with you in our hearts. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman. We'll now call on the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
His Excellency Joseph Nyuma Boakai, President of the Republic of Liberia, Her Excellency Kenny Justice, President of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. Mr. Vice President, Minister, the family, Cabinet, President, of the Michael, Christ, and well-wished. I come here today to represent the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, a ministry in which our Grigsby work. Our Grigsby provides expertise in rules of bilateral relation connecting Liberia to other parts of the world. We are here with heavy heart, knowing very well that we have lost someone special, someone dear to the Republic of Liberia, to the integrity of our state, the professionalism of our conduct as a country. We provided essential work by Minister of Foreign Affairs. On behalf of the ambassadors around and all of our members, all the members of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we come here today to extend a heartfelt sympathy to the family. Words are inadequate to express how much we miss him. But Madam Grigsby, with a heavy heart, we say we are sorry once again. Her Excellency Sylvester, Minister of Foreign Affairs, wishes to be here, but due to some urgent state responsibility, she has to leave over the weekend. And she has asked us to extend her deepest condolence to the family. Liberia have lost an eminent statesman, a man with integrity, a man formed with professionalism, value his work and end up. He had no boundaries of his work ethics. He served everyone he's met. If it comes to Liberia, he's willing to go the extra mile. Liberia have lost a true son. Liberia have lost a true hero. And we believe that his going, his passing is irreparable. And we want to say sorry to the family and sorry to Liberia. You have lost a son of the soil. May God bless you. May his soul rest in perpetual peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. We'll now call on the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs.
Thank you very much, Edie. Dearly beloved, we've gathered here today with very heavy hearts as we remember a statesman, a towering public servant, a man whose wisdom flows so naturally that oftentimes we joked whether he was born already seasoned. We gather here to honor our boss, the late Honorable Sylvester M. Grigsby, a brother, a mentor, a quiet giant of governance, and a man whose impact on Liberia will echo far beyond the years he spent on earth with us. Just to reflect a little bit, my own journey with Minister Grigsby began back in Madam Sirleaf's administration when he was appointed Superintendent of Sino County. By then, I was the Chief of Staff to the Vice President, and I got to find out that Minister Grigsby, or Superintendent Grigsby at the time, was a schoolmate of the Vice President. And then later, he was appointed Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs. And I got to find out that he was a friend of the Vice President, and I was still Chief of Staff to the Vice President. Later, Minister Grigsby was appointed Minister of State with our portfolio, and I got to find out that he was a conversationalist of the Vice President, and I was still Chief of Staff. Later, Minister Grigsby was appointed Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, I was still Chief of Staff. And I got to learn that Minister Grigsby was someone our boss trusted very, very well. As life moved on and we went our separate ways, Minister Grigsby was later appointed Executive Director of the Joseph Numa Boakai Foundation. And I found out that he was a confidant of my boss. By then, I was not Chief of Staff. But later in life, again, when we got the calling from President Boakai back to public service, and I was appointed Minister of State for Special Services, I didn't have to look very far for any guidance. I already had my mentor. And the thing about it, he mentored without even announcing that he was mentoring you. He corrected without embarrassing you. And quite often, he will teach you without letting you know that he was teaching you. Sometimes he will offer an entire lecture in only one sentence. And oftentimes it appeared, no matter how hard I edited a letter, he found something to correct in that letter. And recently, I had an occasion where I had edited a particular communication. And Jennifer brought it, I think she came a few times. Jennifer had previously worked with Minister Grigsby, like several of the staff in the minister's office. And when she brought it again this time, I took my pen and I started to edit, and then she burst out laughing, and I wondered why. And I turned around, I said, "What happened, Jennifer?" She said, "You realize you're editing your fourth edit. You're editing your own." And I smiled, and then she said, "It's the same thing Minister used to do." And as she said that, her voice faded and she turned around for a moment, and I knew she was wiping a tear. I knew at that time that our boss had transitioned, and now it was up to us. Minister Grigsby had a sense of humor that only intelligent people seem to possess. It was that kind of humor that made you laugh at first, and then you will pause and think later and ask yourself, was that really a joke? You will walk away smiling only to realize that he has just given you another lesson in life. He will say with that gentle laughter of his, "Stevie," that's how he called me, "you should never take yourself too seriously. Too many people in this town take themselves too seriously. Liberia is big enough to humble anyone who forgets that they are human." Minister Grigsby's passing pains us deeply because we've lost a reservoir of wisdom and a keeper of institutional memory. We have lost a patriot who loved this country in a sincere and uncomplicated way. We will miss him. And Nat Kwabo wanted me to say we'll also miss his stubbornness, his insistence, and later you will realize that he was right after all. We have lost a colleague who treated us with dignity and respect. And he would take whatever you gave him, even if he doesn't use it, he would take it. We've lost a friend who taught us that service to this country is above all else that we do. The tears that so many of us shared at the announcing of his passing were not only for the pains of his departure, those were also tears of gratitude. There were tears for a life lived with a purpose. There were tears for the seeds that he planted in each of us. There were tears for the honor of having even walked a portion of this journey with him. For all of us at the Ministry of State, this feels like the dimming of a light that we relied on much more that he's gone, and we realize he's no more. He not only guided us in proper public service, but he taught us to do so in all earnesty and with sincerity. He showed us the beauty of loyalty, humility, and a quiet excellence. He believed in us at the Ministry of State long before we believed in ourselves. The Bible says that to everything there is a season. There is a time to build and a time to rest. Our brother, our mentor, our minister, our boss has entered his season of rest. His memory will not fade. The lessons that he taught us will not perish. His impact, Cleo, will never diminish. Honorable Sylvester Grigsby, you have run your race with dignity. You've served your country with distinction. You've mentored many of us into the leaders that we're shaping up to be. We'll miss your humor. We'll miss your wisdom. We'll miss your kindness. We'll miss your stubbornness. But above all, we'll carry your legacy forward in the service of Liberia, a country that you loved so dearly. May God grant you peaceful rest. May God comfort all who mourn with you. You, Minister Grigsby, were a rare man, and we are grateful that your family allowed us to serve with you. Rest in peace.
Minister of State, Minister of Steve Grab there, eulogizing the fallen
members
state.
Of the National Legislature.
It's now time now for us to have His Excellency.
Your Excellency, Mrs. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf,
fallen Minister of State.
former President of the Republic of Liberia, Mr. Minister of Justice, Attorney General, and members of the President's Cabinet, Excellencies, Mr. Dorian, and members of the Diplomatic Corps, Mrs. Cleo Grigsby, and members of the Grigsby families, other officials of government, former officials of government, supervisors, Christian friends, distinguished guests. It is my pleasure to present the President of the Republic of Liberia.
State, Cleo, my sister, my children, distinguished citizens of Sinai County, members of the church, the choir, members of the diplomatic corps, ministers, government, friends. We've come this evening to just remember our friend, brother. I happen to have been at the College of West Africa and was fortunate to meet the minors, the majors, the Grigsbys, the Greens, because of the service I rendered to the college in the business office as head of the Boys Dorm, assistant dean of the Boys Dorm. And so I ran into all of these people. Sylvester was not just a schoolmate, but he was in the dormitory with me. He was also my dormitory student when I became the dean or the head of the boys' dorm. Sylvester and I were very close because of the kind of person he was. Sylvester was a very brilliant at the College of West Africa. He was so humble that you wouldn't even know. Only people talk about it. One of the things I remember about Sylvester was a student, Sylvester was about to graduate from high school. He had a classmate, and you know how the students act. The graduation day, and happened to be the inner boys. And those days, everybody was concerned about looks. And Sylvester, on his graduation, had a pair of shoes. And his classmate, Warren, had a suit. I said, Warren, how much is a suit? He said, $30. It wasn't Sylvester we were talking. The students said, well, the shoes Sylvester were $100. I had to ask Sylvester at that time to leave the dorm because I felt he should be out there. For many other students, he didn't come from a rich family, but Sylvester was always loved because of who he was. Sylvester happened to not just be my friend, my schoolmate. I followed him all the way. Even when he was superintendent of Asylum, we were together, as Steve just told you. When he started working with Mrs. Sully, Mrs. Sully used to say, I have two people in my office who are loyal to you. And Sylvester was one of them. You know, our society has gone so bad that the mediocres are the ones that people cherish. But sometimes we look for substance, not just people. And people don't know why we hold on to certain people. So it's no surprise that people shout, get rid of this person. You don't even know who the people are, and you don't know who I'm looking for. You might be looking for friendship. I look for friendship and quality. And that is why our society has gone to where it is, because they just think anybody can do it. When I left government and I set up a foundation, I called Sylvester. he and I worked to set up the foundation. He didn't earn money, but we worked together for a cause. When Sylvester came to the foundation, we didn't have money. I was not paying him. It was like the old joke I tell people. It was like the cockroach telling his girlfriend, "Come stay with me." When they hang the screw, we lick it together. So we were there making sacrifice to render service to people. When Sylvester left and went to the state and were involved in politics, people didn't know why he left. And all kinds of things were said about him. I knew Sylvester. I remember when Cleo used to call, "Joe, you and Sylvester are not spring chickens anymore." I said, "We know it." Sylvester was a disciplined person. Sylvester was a brilliant person. Sylvester was a humble person. Sylvester was my friend, almost a brother. I didn't even know his middle name until I had a niece who came to do my medical check every month. And one day a young man made a mistake. He's a soldier. And then my niece told me that's my husband. And the name of the woman is his name. I said, "But who?" He said, "I'm Sylvester's nephew." So another relationship came in. And so Sylvester and I built a relationship over the years based on trust, respect. And I was looking for someone who could jumpstart the Ministry of State. I couldn't think about anybody else. So with all the noise people were making, they were just talking. And I knew what. But you know, there are a lot of good people in this country, but commitment. Sylvester stayed in our mansion almost throughout the night, because most of the people that couldn't reach me stopped at Sylvester's place. Sylvester Grigsby, son of Sino County. I remember on a fateful day I was on my way to Kakata and to Sanikuli to go and dedicate the army quarters. And just before I reached Banga, Cleo called me. Said, "Joe, your brother is serious. He had a stroke, heart attack." And all through Kakata, I got to Sanikuli with the program. All was on my mind was that the next thing would be the victims. And as I came back, just crossed Banga, Cleo called me, "Your brother has passed." And these days, of course, before you even get to know everybody, got to know. Today, right after here, we'll be leaving to go to Cote d'Ivoire to participate in the inauguration of President Boakai. But I'm happy to be here. I have to be here. We have to organize this. We have to organize this so that the Liberian people will have the chance to know the quality of person that work with me at the mansion. Sylvester will not just be remembered. For me, Sylvester lived with me day by day. We sent a delegation to the state to participate in the funeral services. I sent my son to deliver the tribute and a lot of prominent people. But we felt, when I talked to my sister Cleo, we have to have a memorial service for Sylvester. Liberians, we still have good people, but you have to be one to know who they are. Sylvester was one of those. A reliable person, a committed Liberian, someone who served without looking for reward. Even up to the time Sylvester was Minister of State, and I even got a beagle, except for one I provided. He never complained. I said to my sister Cleo and the children, and I was happy to meet them. They came to see me in the state. We've lost a true Liberian. We've lost a brilliant human being, a good human being, a good-natured person. Someone who loved this country and was willing to give it away. I know there would have been no reason for Sylvester to come back, but every time I thought about something, even in the transition, it was Sylvester I called to lead a transition. I want to say to the family that we are one now, that we lost a good person, a godly human being, a lover of this country, true son of Zion. And I got to know that when I went to his house and saw the family members. I want to thank you for allowing him to come back to work with me after many years when he went back. And I want to say to you that God, who is merciful, will make sure that Sylvester rests in peace. And we want to say, on behalf of our country, thank you. The family members, thank you so much for allowing Sylvester to serve his country, to help set the agenda. We needed his skills. We needed his courage. We needed the quality of person he was. And that's why we use him in so many ways, including the foundation. I want to say thank you to the foundation, Ed, for being there to organize the service. I want to thank all of you who work with us, who work with Sylvester, to help us jumpstart the country. And today, I want to thank our good Lord to be merciful and to look after his family. Today, I want to say, God bless us all. I might be leaving shortly to go to the airport. I want to say, we appreciate your being here. Thank you to the Methodist Church for allowing us to have the service here. God bless us all.
Amen. President Boakai, the eulogizing the fallen Minister of State here at the memorial service being held for the late Honorable Sylvester Grigsby, the late Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. just listened to His Excellency President Boakai in the fallen Minister of State, the late Minister Sylvester Grigsby. He also did hear the President speaking about his departure.
We'll mix them down. Go there. Oh, how fast walking? For that point.
Thank you very much. All right, folks, we just watched the memorial service for the fallen Minister of State, Minister Sylvester Grigsby. This memorial was organized by the President Joseph Boakai Foundation, along with the government of Liberia and the office of His Excellency the President. The President has just gotten through delivering his eulogy for the late Minister of State here at the ST Language Church here in Sinko. We also had several government officials paying tribute to the fallen Minister of State, the late Minister Sylvester Grigsby. His Excellency President Boakai, in his eulogy, emphasized the efforts and how the late Minister of State have contributed to his government and to the Republic of Liberia. Also, they're serving as former superintendent of Sino County and contributing to the government of Liberia in many ways. Thanks for watching. We'll rush now to the airport as President Boakai departs for the Ivory Coast to attend the inaugural ceremony of the current President Alassane Ouattara. My name is Anthony Williams. Bye-bye for now.